Hi Diego, so nice to see this essays from you. I see that we have the English and Homestay letter. Let's see what you wrote. Dear host, my name is Malone and I am going to be your guest for the English and Homestay program. I'm 28 years old and I am from Brazil. I have a bachelor degree in computer science and I work as a software developer. My goal for this program is to get to know another culture, different kinds of people, and to improve my English language level. I would like to make a few questions about your country and the neighborhood. Firstly, I'm wondering, how is the temperature and precipitation rate out there in July and August? Because I want to be prepared to your climate. Secondly, are there some gyms close to your house? I am a very active person, and even if I may run at street, I will feel better going to a gym. Lastly, will I have access to your kitchen? I would like to make some of my country's typical dishes for me and for you if you wish. I'm scheduled to get there on the afternoon of July 8th. I already have your complete address, so there is no need for you to go to the airport to accompany me. I hope to hear back from you soon. Best regards, Malone. Okay, so here's the good news. The good news is that most of the grammar is good. There are a couple of mistakes that we will talk about. You covered all of the points. So you introduced yourself, you asked some essential questions, and you gave some information about your arrival, even though you didn't give the time. I do believe that it asks you, let's see, yeah, look at that, scheduled date of arrival and time. So that's actually a pretty big deal. Every time you see these ands in task 1, definitely include both pieces of information on both sides of the and. So arrival, the date of arrival, and time, not just one or the other. You absolutely have to include both. Okay? So that would probably, surprisingly perhaps, cost you quite a bit in terms of your task achievement score. Let's see. Now, the first paragraph was fine. I wasn't super crazy about this expression, dear host. I would have maybe preferred something like dear sir and madam instead. Or if you had referred to the person by name, that would have been okay too. Now, let's look at this paragraph because this is where I located some errors. For example, I would like to ask a few questions. Firstly, I am wondering, we don't say how is your temperature because what this is this is an indirect question. The question is being made by the expression I am wondering. Therefore, you don't have to invert your verb and your subject. So it should be I am wondering how the temperature and precipitation rate is in July and August. Or even better would be, firstly, I would like to know what the temperature and precipitation are like in July and August, because I would like to be prepared for your climate. And then here you have a direct question. Again, it's more polite, more formal to make these indirect questions. So instead you could have said, secondly, could you let me know if there are gyms close to your house? Okay, and then here, even if I run in the street, I will feel better going to a gym. And then here again you have a direct question. It's not wrong, but again it's more polite if you use indirect questions. Lastly, I would like to know if I will have access to your kitchen. I would like to make some of my country's typical dishes for me and for you if you wish, okay? And then that's fine. This was fine, the rest of it was fine. Comma, however, since you didn't refer to the person by name, and we assume you don't know the name of the person you're writing to, probably here the best option would have been yours faithfully. That's how we close our letter when we don't know the name of the person we are writing to, okay? So, good job for your first attempt. It's pretty good, but there are some errors that we have to work on. So now let's take a look at your task 2. Okay, and here we have it. It's your task 2 on international marketing. Let's see what you wrote. Let's see, what did you say here? You proved some words. Okay. Let's see what you said here. International marketing is becoming more common over the years with the increasing connection between countries. Some people may perceive this practice as dangerous to foreign countries, but this may be beneficial for all parts. All right, well, what about you? What's your opinion? What do you think? Because remember that the task does ask you very directly and very specifically for your own opinion. So it's a good idea to include that in your introduction. Okay. Those who see marketing applied overseas as a bad practice argue that the campaigns developed by the company's headquarters or some international marketing company do not acknowledge the differences between the cultures and people. Let me look at that again. Argue that campaigns do not acknowledge the differences. Okay, there are many differences between countries, and some campaigns should not be applied abroad because of them. However, these ads may be adapted to be closer to the culture where it is exhibited, reducing the bad effect. Okay, you know what? The grammar is fine. Let's move on, and then we'll talk about the development at the end. For companies, this practice has proven successful, Firstly, developing worldwide advertising pieces is cheaper than developing numerous pieces, one for each country. Secondly, this practice helps the business to create a global identity, assuring that people over countries recognize their brands, slogans, and their vision. Moreover, it guarantees the cohesion of the brand worldwide. Nevertheless, such international campaigns have an important impact on globalization. Since the pieces are shown in various cultures, these cultures start to think in a more common way. This helps them to communicate better and exchange information, experience better, increasing globalization, making it a virtuous cycle. Furthermore, we may know how better the world is now because of the globalization impact. In conclusion, despite the belief of some people against international marketing, this practice is beneficial to the business and to foreign countries that receive international advertising campaigns. Okay, so now that we've read the whole essay, I want to talk about it a little more specifically. First of all, here at IELTSpodcast.com, we don't really support a 5-paragraph structure. We typically recommend that students use a 4-paragraph structure. So these 3 body paragraphs are probably not a good idea. And it's better to use just 2. Now, more specifically, there's a problem here with this paragraph in that it shows a misunderstanding of what international marketing is. You see here that they do not acknowledge the differences between cultures and people, but in fact, that's exactly what international marketing is and does. It does change the message and the way the strategy is used in order to be specific to different countries and cultures. So there's definitely a misunderstanding here, okay? Now, here, this has absolutely nothing to do with the positive side of international marketing as presented in the prompt, which says that it helps disseminate ideas, culture, language, and is an economical form of education. This has 0 to do with that. Nothing. Okay? Maybe just this word cheaper, but that's it. That's the only thing. You didn't touch the rest of these aspects of international marketing that the task has asked you to talk about. Now, in this paragraph, you did do a better job of touching upon the topics the essay has asked you to touch upon. However, what you didn't do here was back up your ideas with any sort of proof, any sort of evidence, any sort of support. You just had ideas and you just threw them out there, but you never actually supported anything. Okay? So, like this, for example. Furthermore, we may know how better the world is now because of the globalization impact. Why? How? I mean, what does this mean? There's no extension. You say, for example, these cultures start to think in a more common way. How? Why do you know that? Give me an example. Give me some illustration. How do you know this to be true? So you can't just assert something without supporting it in IELTS. You absolutely have to back up every single thing that you claim. So if you claim something, it's going to need, no matter what, a piece of support to explain why you say what you say. All right, so here, as I said, we saw a misunderstanding of international marketing. Here we saw just really an irrelevant paragraph. It didn't support, it didn't do anything. It was not related to the topic at all. It was just tangential. And here we saw a paragraph that did deal with the issues at hand, but it didn't develop them. Okay, so a handful of things happening in this essay. What I think would really benefit you is to sign up to the online course where you can get all the information you need on how to develop coherent, well-developed answers to these task 2 questions, plus lots of support and assistance with task 1. I'd really like to see you on it. I think you'll find it to be immensely beneficial. So take a look at that and see if that's something you can do with us, okay? I really look forward to working with you and seeing more of your essays in the future, so I wish you lots of good luck.